Up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today, let's talk a little bit about how I make these kind of videos, right? Because I've had that question sort of asked to me a few times. How do you think of stuff to say? How do you keep going, right? And I'm starting to run out of ideas at the moment. My inspirational well is a little bit dry, so I thought, what better time to actually talk about how I actually do these things rather than just doing the thing itself. So I film these videos on a Canon C100. It's like a cinema camera, but I got it quite cheap, and you can get them even cheaper than what I got them for now. And basically what I do is I just walk around. I like to go to a friend's house, right? If I'm going to see a friend or stuff like that, I like to leave like 3 hours earlier than I need to, and I'll get there, right? I'm going to see a mate right now, and I filmed one video already, right? And now I'm filming the second video. And I might do a third one after this, I might not, it depends on how I feel. And yeah, I basically just think, I don't think about like, I don't plan them out, I don't come up with topics. I do come up with topics, right? But I don't like list notes. There's no notes on my phone that try and sort this out. The only thing that's on my phone at the moment is the audio recorder app. And basically what this is, it's just the bog standard, it's called Easy Voice Recorder, right? It's free on the Play Store fucking thing, right? And you can get the pro version. I'm not getting the pro version because I don't really give a shit. And yeah, I just kind of record onto this, right? And then once I get back home, what I do is there's this listen page, and I highlight all the ones that I recorded from that day, and I upload them to Google Drive, and then I download them from Google Drive onto my desktop, and then I sync the audio and the video together. I come up with a color grade, I put the 4:3 bars on it, and then I export it, and that's really it. It's not a complicated process, and I feel like I try and lean into the improvised sort of thing where what I'm trying to do is I'm trying almost recording me grappling with a topic rather than me grappling with the topic off camera and then coming on camera and just preaching to you about the things that I've learned. I feel like it's more interesting the metaphor that I like, right, is say we're all trying to climb a wall, right? And there's a couple people that have climbed the wall, and they're sort of going like, oh, if you put your foot on that brick there, and then you can kind of reach over to that bit, and then you get onto that bit there, and it's like, okay, I'm just following what that person is telling me to do. Rather, I like to, instead of listening to what that guy has to say, I like to see someone struggling to climb up the wall, because it sort of tells me what I don't need to do and what they did that worked and what they did that didn't work, that kind of thing. I'd rather see the person try and grapple with the subject and try and figure out the idea than someone who's already got the idea figured out and then just tells you like some higher deity coming down to speak to the followers, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just try and put my thoughts into some kind of let's call it what are those things called? The where it starts, spider graph. That's it. So you have your core idea. Let's say the video I recorded last was about routine. So routine and setting a routine and how routine isn't the be all and end all, right? That was the idea of the video. And so when I sat down, I recorded one bit where I talked for about 4 minutes, and then I kind of worried that I wasn't actually in the frame because I can't really see the camera. All I can see is a red light, and that just tells me that it's still recording. And if I didn't have the red light, I don't know what I'd do. Because then I would constantly be like filming a video and then coming back and then saying, oh, fuck, it wasn't even recording the whole time. That's happened a couple times already, but just because I didn't bother to look at the red light. So now I make sure to always look at the red light when instead of looking into the lens, right? I'm looking at the lens now. I like to look a little bit up and just look at the little red light, which maybe that from the viewer's perspective means I'm not staring straight at you. I like to, be in a space and feel like, you can feel like this is a real establishment, like, and I like to interact with the environment that's around me, like, there you are, proof that this is all real. It's not a fucking green screen. And you're doing stuff like this just to try and show that you're in a place, in a space, because your surroundings are quite interesting. They're more interesting than you think. Like, I pass this thing like 2 or 3 times a week going to see my mate. And, for the longest time, I didn't really give a shit about it. It was just a bridge. But it's a fucking beautiful looking bridge, isn't it? It's actually quite nice. And when you actually get it on film, I like to find different angles for it. I've featured this bridge in a few videos now. And it's not one of my favorite locations ever, but I really like it. I like how in the background, I don't know if you can see it, but like there's water dripping down over there, quite a lot of it actually. That water's probably freezing cold. And yeah, I try and make it feel like, I don't try and make it feel, I just record the videos. But I think what's interesting about it, and why I feel like more people should try and do this kind of video, because a mate of mine that I met on the internet called Tantris Humble, he's started making these kind of videos where but he lives in like Japan, so he goes around Japan and he does them out in Japan. And like, because I've never been to Japan, so it's almost like another planet to me as far as I'm concerned. But then when I see his videos, it's weird because like I see the little locations that he used, and it's like, fuck, it's basically exactly like here in London. You know what I mean? So it's the same kind of thing, and we're all a lot more similar than we actually might think. And I'd like to see more people doing these kind of things where, you know, they don't come up with all the ideas and then preach them down onto the world. Instead, they just try and figure out things and yeah, make something interesting out of that. And it's also good to do them outside, out and about, because I like to get out of the house, and like I'm out of the house quite a lot anyway. So, you know, I just like to take the camera out with me, and that's all it is. And then I go see a mate. Maybe I edit the videos at the mate's house. Maybe I don't. Maybe like depending on the mate, you know, depending on how comfortable I am around them and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to think what else is kind of useful to you. It's just a case of going around, coming up with a couple ideas, and then just exploring those ideas. But don't plan the ideas out too much. I don't really consider them all that much. And I know if I say something that I can't like publish, I know if I reveal a bit of personal information or whatever whilst I'm recording it. And if I feel like I'm touching on something that may be a bit controversial, and I'm a bit worried about what I might have said, I know what video it is where I might have felt a bit worried about. Usually if it's a politically kind of motivated, not politically motivated, but like a political kind of video, I'll watch those ones back to make sure that I don't say anything that's really dumb or just like wrong or factually untrue or whatever, and that kind of thing. And if I do, then I don't publish it. But yeah, it's kind of just a stream of consciousness, really, and that's kind of all it is. And yeah, that's basically the video, so bye. That ended on a really like anticlimactic note, didn't it? Yeah, there's not much else to add about it, really. It's just go around, find some stuff, talk about it. There's no magic formula to this. Like, yeah, what you see is what you get. Is basically exactly as you imagine. I'll show you, just to wrap it up, I will show you what the camera is sat on. Hang on a sec, I need to up the things. So the camera was sat on that. The card was so that the thing was tilted a bit more, because if I had it like that, right, that's a bit too much ground. But if I put it on that, let me try and do it. You see, I can kind of like manipulate it slightly. And the lens cap does the same kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of it, really. I do have a tripod, but the bottom of the base plate of this thing kind of broke. So yeah, I don't really use the base plate anymore. Now I just kind of, for the last 2 months, I've just been propping it on random bullshit and just doing it that way. So yeah, that's everything, really. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and all that. You probably didn't, but yeah, have a good one, everybody. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.